everybody, welcome to the very first Lead Gen TV from God Objections. I'm your co-host, Nick Baldwin. I'm here with Aaron Wittenstein.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going, Aaron? We have a really special guest for our very first show. It's an honor to introduce you to one of the biggest agents in Keller Williams and the country. His team did $138 million this year. Closed 659 units. The business is up 65% from the year before. Ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce Lance Loken and Sara De Saint Marceaux. Thanks for joining us.
Woo! We're happy to be here. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yes, thank you, guys.
Guys, it's so great to have you. Don't worry, we're not nervous at all. Okay,
Good.
So I just wanted to ask a few questions from you guys. I know that you both started off in corporate America. Lance, you were with the Wood Group, which is an international energy services company, correct?
That is correct. Came from corporate America, got into this about just over 4 years ago now, and we've been enjoying it ever since, treating this as a business.
And before that, you were with Francesca's. Is that a women's clothing company?
Yes, it's a women's retailer boutique type of environment. I come from a retail background, furniture industry before that, and then worked at Francesca's Collections, a women's retailer, and then spent a little bit of time in the oil and gas industry with renewable energy and the wind turbines.
So both of those are somewhat different than real estate. How did you end up going from that line of work and jumping into real estate later on in life?
My wife had just gotten into real estate. She became an interim team leader to help out the office, and during that time, renewable energy, which was the industry that I was last in, oil and gas was not producing at a high level from a dollar standpoint. Barrels of oil was in the $50 range, and natural gas was in the $4 range, and so the economy, from my perspective, wasn't doing very well. So they eliminated our entire division, and then spent about 8 months looking for work. Had offers all over the United States. However, Karina, my wife, wanted to stay in the Houston market, so she kept bugging me to get into this industry, and I said, why in the world would I want to be one of 27,000 agents in Houston? And had no desire whatsoever.
There's no competition with that many people. Don't worry about it.
No, not at all.
So, Sara, you were also in advertising, and you're originally from New York City, correct?
I'm actually originally from Houston, but I did spend about 11 and a half years in New York. I was in advertising for almost 15 years, and spent a lot of time working with retail clients, oil and gas clients, pharmaceutical clients, a lot of client services, did some new business pitches as well, and moved back to Houston about 4 years ago. Spent about a year and a half working on an energy account. There was a lot of turnover on the client side, and as a result, there ended up being a lot of turnover on the agency side. And after about a year and a half, we mutually parted ways, and I spent some time interviewing at other advertising and marketing jobs in Houston, and then decided that really wasn't what I truly wanted to do. I really wanted to get into real estate. Had been thinking about it for a long time, and took that opportunity to start taking classes. And about that time, a mutual friend of Lance and myself introduced, well, we'd already been introduced, but let me know that they were looking for someone to join their team as an ISA, and I interviewed with them and knew that was the place I needed to be.
Right. Best decision that she ever made.
Yes, it is.
I bet. So listen, you guys are down in Houston. You have a couple expansion teams. Can you tell us a little bit briefly about the type of market you're in right now?
Right now, it's definitely still a seller's market. Our months of inventory on hand at this very moment is 2.8 months of inventory. So we're still very strong on the seller side. We feel that it's going to gradually go back towards a buyer's market, but right now it's still on the seller side.
Okay, good. So the sellers are getting their turn to enjoy the market a little bit. The same up here in New Jersey, and I think the same goes for Aaron in Westchester. Aaron just had some questions for you guys, specifically about lead gen and how you run your ISA team.
Yeah, so hello everybody. So, I know the crux of what we have on the group here is, we got objections where we do lead generation, scripting, all that kind of good stuff. So I know that's what the folks want to hear about. So let me ask you this. With $138 million you guys do, what are your top 3 lead generation sources?
The top 3 lead gen sources from a closing perspective, Sphere, as well as client and agent referrals. Secondarily to that, it was expireds. So expireds was really a huge source from us on the listing side. I would say those were really our biggest lead sources.
Especially in our first 3 years, expireds was number 1, and then as we've gotten more into the radio and TV, and once we've built our data bank, as we like to call it, we call it our data bank because that's where our money is going to be coming from in the future. So we really have started focusing on growing that part of the business as well.
Your database is where the money comes from, for sure.
Yeah. So when you say, so you guys started a lot doing the expireds. So I know with our group here, that's a huge avenue of where people try and get business from. And can you guys tell me a little bit about your ISA team?
Absolutely. So right now we have 3 buyer ISAs. We have 1 listing ISA. We had another one. Actually, we had 2. They're both now listing agents. So we're in the process of furiously looking for 2 more listing ISAs. And basically their focus is on converting inbound leads, especially on the buyer side, as well as going after the outbound leads. So expireds, FSBOs, and as well as calling their sphere.
Okay, so let me just understand this. So what you guys do is you make it a requirement for all listing agents that are coming out or buyers agents to be ISAs prior. Is that correct?
Yes, we just started that probably about mid-year. Laura Epperson was she was really the first person to truly go through the ISA program, we knew that she was going to be a listing agent based on her ADA and the interviews that we had with her. She had to go through the 100 days training, though, first, ISA, before she could move on to become a listing agent.
Okay. So when you call expireds, for example, what would you say, what type of numbers and goals are you looking at for your ISAs to accomplish on a daily basis?
At a minimum, once they've completed their 100 days training, at a minimum, they should be booking at least 1 appointment a day. But the goal is to have them booking 2 appointments a day.
We do a little simple method: 2, 10, 40, 2 appointments a day, 10 a week, and 40 a month.
Excellent. And how many hours a day do you have them prospecting?
They come in at 8 o'clock. We do a quick role play and goals and affirmations, and then they're on the phones no later than 8:30. They're doing lead generation for about 3 hours. They'll take a break, do follow-up emails, follow-up notes, handwritten notes if we have their address. Then they're back on the phones again for another hour, doing follow-up calls as well. They'll take a lunch break, and then they're on the phones again in the afternoon. And the rule of thumb is starting with the hottest leads first, and then obviously working their way backwards to follow-up calls for the B and C buyers or for people that they've spoken to in the last week or so, and then following up to the coldest leads in the afternoon.
Okay, because I know one of the most common.
I would say it's about 5 or 6 hours of lead generation a day.
Okay, because I know one of the most common questions, I know you can agree with me, is when's the best time to call? When do you guys see people answer the phone? What do you feel is the best time to call?
First thing in the morning.
Okay.
So between 8 and 9 a.m. is really the best time for them to be calling. And then again, later in the afternoon. Sometimes we do see a lift during lunch, but I would say primarily first thing in the morning and then later in the afternoon after 3 o'clock.
Do you guys do any evening calling at all, or is it pretty much just morning and afternoon?
Primarily, it's morning and afternoon. We do have some evening calls that do happen, and we're in the process of looking for someone that can do nights and weekends, and also looking at rotating the shifts for the ISAs, perhaps coming in at noon and leaving at 8.
Excellent, excellent. So, no, those are some really, really great numbers. And I mean, for what you're doing, I mean, what do you feel is the biggest success in regards? Because you guys are definitely doing something special and right over there. So, I mean, what would you feel is the biggest reason for the success, especially in the ISA end?
I think it's kind of a multi-point answer. So the biggest thing is really how we recruit and select talent. So making sure that we find the right talent to begin with. And then the training that we take them through. So it's 100 days training. They're learning scripts, they're learning systems, they're learning how to time block. They're all required to go through BOLD in the first 100 days. So again, they're learning all of the systems that they're going to need and scripts that they'll need in order to become a great ISA or a great listing agent or a great buyer's agent.
Excellent. Now,
here's a perfect. Oh, go ahead. I'll give you a perfect example for this as well. We had one of our buyer agents that did not go through the ISA program, and she was struggling to meet her goals. And so we got together. We kept switching up coaches. We were trying a myriad of different methods to get her back on track. And finally, we said, why don't we have her go into the ISA program for a period of 30 days and see how that works. And it has been night and day. Her production level, she is now our top producing agent on the team right at this moment. And her confidence has skyrocketed. And I think a big reason for that is because she got back into scripts and she got back into role playing and really gaining confidence from overcoming objections and knowing what to say and how to say it. And, Sarah's
Lance,
program is just been,
I mean, that is like the #1 reason why we started this whole thing, and you just confirmed that for us.
Yeah.
It's from what I'm hearing from you guys, it's back to basics. It's really what you guys take it to. No matter what we do, it's about scripting and role playing and getting on the phone. Would you guys agree with me on that?
100%.
Absolutely, and it's also accountability. So meeting with them once a week to make sure they're hitting their goals and what they need to do differently to make sure they're achieving them and exceeding them.
Okay. And then, I mean, the people that you bring in that are, starting off as an ISA and going to be a buyer's agent or listing specialist, do these people have real estate experience, or what's your typical person look like?
They don't have real estate experience. Not to say we would never hire someone with some real estate experience, but
yeah, we would. We'll say that.
Let's put it this way. We have hired people with real estate experience. However, primarily most of the people on our team have no real estate experience.
Lance looks for people that have a background in women's clothing.
Right.
That's usually how it works. I want to get into a little bit about when you do book a listing appointment, Lance. I find it really interesting that you do 70% of your listing appointments on the phone. So how does that work, and what techniques do you use for that?
Well, first and foremost, the ISAs, when they pre-qualify the client, they've put into my Outlook calendar all the necessary information that I could possibly need or want. And the most amount of time that I'm spending is running comps to make sure that the home's priced correctly. And if it's not priced correctly, what I'm going to suggest it be priced at. So they do all the legwork for me. It makes my life nice and easy. But when people do call up, I just ask them, first and foremost, I want to find out what the price is that they're going to be looking to get their home sold for. because if we can't agree on a price from the onset, there's no use in discussing anything further. So we get that out of the way, and I always make them provide me with the sales price first, because whoever opens up their mouth first is going to usually be the one in the lead. And I want to find out what their perspective is and how much of a challenge it's going to be to get them either to the correct number, or if we need to allow them to move on to an agent that's going to put a sign in the yard, and then when they haven't gotten it sold, then they'll come back to us and get it sold.
Okay, well, I find this to be pretty interesting. Lance, would you mind? Can I put you on the spot? Would we be able to do a role play? I would love to hear what your phone call sounds like to somebody.
Sure.
Would you mind doing that?
No problem.
It's about
Okay.
6.
What's that?
It's about 6 minutes.
All right, perfect.
Okay, we have 13 minutes left.
So I would love to hear what you do. Background. I mean, what do you think would be sufficient background? I have a home in Houston, $250,000. I've expired. I've been on the market. Let's say I'm overpriced by 10%, and whatever else you need from me. So.
Sure. So then let's start out at about $260,000 then. Okay.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
So, hi there. My name's Loken. How can I help you?
Oh, hi. It was in regards to the home. I spoke with one of your associates about my property on 123 Smith Street.
Okay, perfect. And I understand that first and foremost, is the home in good saleable condition right now?
I mean, I'd say it's not bad. I mean, we don't have granite countertops or anything like that, but it's in nice condition.
Okay, perfect. And were you getting a lot of showings, and were you getting a lot of feedback when you did have the property listed?
You know, we had it on the market for 6 months, and we had 23 24 showings, something like that. We didn't get a ton of feedback. Our agent really didn't tell us much.
Okay, and we hear that all the time, unfortunately. And we have a great process to overcome that issue as well. So we'll discuss that in a little bit. But from a pricing standpoint, I understand that you had your home listed at $260,000. Were you pretty confident in that number, or were you getting feedback from a price perspective?
I mean, that's what we'd be looking to get. That's what other agent, told us. So I mean, we'd be looking at 260.
Okay, and I've already run the comparables on the property, and it appears that the home would be much better served to be priced at $250,000 versus the $260,000. And I know we're probably only talking about $10,000 here, but the interesting perspective from that number is that you're going to gain a lot broader audience by going at the 250 price point. You're going to have those people looking from 200 to 250. At the same time, you're also going to get those people looking from 250 to 300. And it'll just open up the horizon to a lot greater portfolio. And on top of that, our goal is to list your home at the top of the market, whatever that market dictates. But we've been very successful in being right underneath that top price point, get a lot of showings into the property, getting a lot of traction, and then having the buyers come back and give us multiple offers and have the buyers drive those prices up. And that serves twofold purpose. We're getting lots of showings for your property. The home, once we get people into your home, it sells for itself. But on top of that, when the appraiser comes in and he says, hey, your home's priced a little high, we go, well, we had all these showings, we had multiple offers on the property, and this property's priced correctly. And we've been very successful in overcoming that.
Well, I mean, so you said 250, but you haven't really even seen my house. I mean, how would you come up with that number?
Well, that's the best part about what we do. We have an entire process that works extremely well. The first thing that we do is we have a stager that will actually come out to your home, spend a 2-hour consultation with you, go through every room of the house, front yard, backyard, and say, this is what you need to do to get the home in sellable condition. And she's not there to spend your money per se. She's there to help you get top dollar, which is both what we both want, right?
Exactly.
Okay? And then once you've done everything she says to do, then we bring in a professional photographer. He does an absolutely amazing job and makes your home look spectacular. Because what we're going to do is market your home on every website that we possibly can. We market your home on over 400 websites. We're all over social media. And our goal is to have your home sold within 30 to 60 days. Our current average is at 19 days, but focus on the 30 to 60 so I don't disappoint you. And then we get going and get your home sold.
Okay, so what you're saying is we'd be looking at a 250 price?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And, we've been very successful with getting multiple offers at that price. And our goal, when we list homes, our goal is to sell it at that price. I love to negotiate to say no. So, best advocate.
Okay, so I mean, at this point, we're listed at 250. I mean, what's typically the next step?
Then our stager will come out and she'll do our 2-hour consultation with you, and we move as quickly as you want to move.
Oh, okay. So we get the stager, 250, that type of stuff, and so you're confident this could get done?
My goal is to have your home sold within 30 to 60 days. Yes.
Okay.
Last year alone, we sold a process in place.
Okay. No, that sounds great. So, all right. Well, sounds like a plan.
Lance, you're hired. Okay, so that was awesome. I'm just gonna go on to the next topic real quick. So you have a very large sphere. Obviously, you sold almost 700 homes. I'm on a team in New Jersey. Obviously, it's not 25 people, but we have 7. And an objection that we get on a regular basis is, how do I feel like I'm not going to get the personal touch working with a team. Like, I feel like you're too busy to sell my home. How do you keep it personal, and how do you let a seller know that you're going to make them feel as if they're the only person that you're working with?
That's the best part about our team. And when I'm in the listing presentation, I'll go and say, hey, you're not getting just an individual agent or just a couple of agents. You're getting a team of professionals, and we are all experts in every single position that we hold. The beauty of that is you don't have one agent wearing 10 different hats. You've got several agents wearing one specific hat, and they're going to be the best that they possibly can be at that particular position. My expertise is getting your home sold. I have a stager that comes out, and she's the one that helps you get that home ready to be sold. I have a VP of marketing that comes out, and she does all the brochures for you. She's the creative person. You don't want me telling you what to put in a listing, do you? And of course they say no. So I use that angle and say, we've got professionals that are taking care of you. Just like when you go into the doctor's office, you don't see the doctor until the very last thing, but you've got a person that's a professional in each aspect of the entire process to take care of you. I've got people that will be handling the paperwork, because that's not my expertise, and so that's what the benefits are from that perspective, and it's been phenomenal how that's worked out.
No, that's a perfect script to tell, to make your sellers feel that they're going to be taken care of, because it's not your expertise. You're not the paperwork guy, so it makes sense that you give the paperwork to the paperwork guy and the photography to the photographer. So being that you have such a giant sphere, who calls your sphere? Who keeps in touch with your sphere? You're selling 700 homes. Who is calling them and touching them and so on and so forth on on a quarterly or weekly basis?
So the ISAs are responsible for leads in the database as well as sphere. Now the buyer agents and the listing agents, of course, will call their own sphere. However, Lance and Karina have a pretty large sphere and don't really have the time to contact all of them. They do have their inner circle. However, beyond that, that is a role that the ISAs have taken on. So we are calling them quarterly. We also have an email campaign that goes out to them. We're writing handwritten note cards to them, and we're also contacting them whenever there's any events coming up as well.
And we have found time after time that people don't even care that it's not us calling them. I don't know why people have such a roadblock with that. We've had absolutely no problem. They go, hey, one of the people on your team called us today, and we gave them all the information, and that was great. Thank you very much. So they're more appreciative than anything else.
I think that's awesome because I think that's it is definitely a fear of agents on a large team. Making it, they want to make it personal, and I like that. You've made it. You've gotten your clients to accept the team and to acknowledge each person as an individual and in their area of expertise, and so they're okay with the ISA calling them and checking in on them because they've gotten to know them, as well along the process of the wholesale, right?
Yes, and just remember, just 4 years ago, it was just 2 and 3 people. So we've evolved as we've continued.
Oh yeah.
To grow. So it's not like this was 10 or 15 years ago. This is very recent, and we've been where everybody else is at as well. Just we've done it a little quicker, but we had a mission in place and a game plan in place in order to accomplish where we're at today.
And I think that's why a lot of agents today are looking up to you. You made this happen for yourself so fast. You had so many systems in place to get your business to where it is today, and that's why, I think you're one of the agents in the company and in the country that a lot of people look up to because, they obviously want to perfect the systems that you have because you've done it so quickly. I think we're running a little bit low on time. Aaron just has one last question for you, so I'm going to throw it over to Wittenstein there for a minute.
Thank you, Mr. Baldwin. So, I just will say the one thing that I think is just amazing about you guys is the confidence that you speak. I can tell everything that you say. You're so confident. You have so much conviction behind it. But, with everybody else, we've got 4 years in real estate. What is the most important piece of advice that you could give a real estate agent that wants to grow their business?
Set a game plan and go do it. It's nothing more, mind-blowing than that. You need to set up a game plan and then just go do what you're set out to do.
It's simple. It's not easy.
So goals,
accountability, short and sweet.
Set your goals. Yeah, that's a great piece of advice. One sentence. Just decide what you want to do and do it.
Yes.
If anybody can tell you it works, it's this guy right here.
Yeah, I'm going to listen to everything you say. You can tell me the sky is pink, and I think I'm going to listen to you.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, Lance tells us the sky is pink. I believe him.
Yeah, there you go. No, the one other thing I'd like to say, though, and this is especially when you're growing a team, in order to make a team successful, it is your people that you work with, and that's by far the biggest and most important thing. We would never be where we are at today if we wouldn't have professionals in place, and if we'd have the staff and the level of expertise that we have. I'm nobody. I suck at lead generating. That is expertise at all, but our team is absolutely amazing. So
hey, if you suck at lead gen, get someone who's good at it, right?
Hey,
that's right.
Do what you're good at.
One of the things that Lance has implemented is that when it comes to the ISAs, his belief is give them all of the leads. Don't cherry pick and give some to your agents. Give your ISAs all of the leads. Let them do their job so that the buyer agents and listing agents can go and do their job, which is closing the deal and getting them under contract.
I love it.
That's excellent. Well, guys, thank you so much for doing this. We really appreciate it. We look forward to being in touch with you in the future. This has been an amazing first interview for Lead Gen TV, right, Nick?
It's been the first and the last. There's no need to do another one after this. We're done.
Be the first.
Thank you.
But no, it's been an honor. We appreciate it. Thank you so much, and we can't wait to share this with everybody, and they're going to get so much out of it, and keep kicking butt over there in Houston.
Yeah, do me a favor. Go make some more money, okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.